All right. So I want to talk about something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. And that's the fact that like addiction as a whole isn't addressed like further than substance abuse typically, right? And a lot of people don't realize that substance abuse is actually just one small form of addiction. I mean, however, just like anything else that people can possibly get addicted to, it can have dire consequences, right? Obviously, it can ruin your life, but so can a lot of other things. People, I don't feel like it's talked about enough that there are many other things besides substances that can cause unmanageability in people's lives, and they don't do anything about it. They just sit and realize that there's a way to end that suffering and that pain and that hurt that they're going through, and to become spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally fit, right? A lot of people don't realize that when drug addicts specifically quit doing drugs, right? That's not all we do. And there's a lot of things that we have to do to make sure that we stay off of drugs, right? And to make sure, because eventually it's not about not doing drugs anymore. That's just a byproduct, right? So the most important thing is becoming spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically stable, right? And that's through working a program of some kind that gets you in contact with a higher power. I have my higher power, and I choose to call him God. And some kind of support group or sponsor or people that are there to hold you accountable and help, right? Now, a lot of people don't realize, I feel like it's not put out there enough, what recovery actually does. And that, I feel like people just think, you get into recovery and you don't do drugs anymore. That's like the most basic form of of explaining it, right? Sure, yeah, we don't do drugs anymore, awesome. But just because someone stops doing drugs doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy or that they're living a successful and fulfilling life, right? So people, even without drug addiction, if you have problems in a relationship and you're addicted to toxic relationships, or if you notice a pattern that you're in toxic relationships, or you eat too much, or your spending is a problem and it's creating unmanageability in your life, then maybe, this is just a suggestion, maybe try talking to a recovering addict, and they can give you tips on things that you may be able to do to help find more spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional satisfaction in your life. And those things actually, to me, is what brings me real peace and happiness. And through recovery and working a program, I've found that the most important thing that I want in life is to be happy. And I want peace in my life. I want a peace of mind, knowing that no matter what happens, no matter what I do, no matter what negative circumstance happens in my life, I'm going to be okay. I can handle it. No matter what, I can handle it. And sure, I have that mind state, right? But life happens, and I get that. But that's why we have our support group to rely on, and have like-minded individuals around you to rely on to help get you through those tough situations, to where if you feel like you're sliding back, or if you actually do slide back, that you can rely on those people and humble yourself and get back in contact with them right away once you know you fucked up, because just because you slide back does not mean that you completely fucked up. I'm not saying that it's okay to go get loaded once you are working a program of recovery, but I'm saying that most of the greatest successes that have ever happened are built on previous failures, of the attempts of the same thing that they were trying to accomplish in the first place. So even if you slide back, that's the best part about finding these like-minded individuals and people that actually care and actually want to see you do well, and actually want to help you to reach your full potential, is that even if you slide back, if you're honest and you're humble enough to come back and let the people know that let the people that that care about you, that you fucked up, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make it right, then, you know, I mean, you're golden. But you got to be able to rely on those resources. Anyways, I feel like it's not talked about enough. I feel like people think that programs of recovery are just for people that have a drug problem, and that's not right. Because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't even have any addiction problems, but that are suffering from character defects that they could benefit from working some kind of program, or at least delving deep into spiritual principles to help them find that spiritual satisfaction, that to fill that hole and that void that you may be looking to fill. There's so many things, so many great things that come from just trying to do better. You know, a byproduct of that is not doing drugs no more. You know, I don't do drugs anymore. I was stuck in crystal meth and heroin addiction for a long time. You know, like, and all of my addiction, it was like probably like 13 to 14 years. Right? But I was able to get out of it through working a program and through surrounding myself with individuals who wanted to do better. I mean, I was homeless. I was in this horrible place, and I felt like it was over. In 2016 and 2017, I didn't expect to live past those 2 years. I was actually putting myself in dangerous situations to try to end it all, you know, subconsciously, you know, like I wasn't like necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna go, you know, and go piss someone off and get shot or something like that. But, you know, subconsciously, I was putting myself in dangerous situations because I didn't want to deal with the suffering that I was going through on a daily basis anymore. My point is that if you're dealing with some kind of instability in your life that's causing unmanageability, and that there's a void that you're looking to fill, if you feel empty at some spot, at some point in your core, and you just feel like you're just missing something, reach out. Reach out to somebody. Reach out to me if you want to. I'm more than happy to talk and guide others if they're trying to better themselves. It's a beautiful thing, and that's the best part about like recovery, is I get to hang out around these people that I see come in at their lowest points and then thrive and thrive hard. And it's amazing. It's such a beautiful thing. And I get excited to see that. When I was in sober living, that was extremely rewarding to be able to see that all the time. I think the hardest part was when I moved out of sober living. I had to find all this stuff on my own. But now it's more rewarding because I hold all this stuff in front of my face on my own. I go to my meetings, I still do step work, I talk to my sponsor, and I do what I need to do to make sure that I'm spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically balanced. I'd probably do a little bit more work on the physical side, but because I have a connection to my higher power, and because I do everything I can to be a better person, life's okay. Even when it throws hard shit at me, I'm able to handle it, walk through it like a champ, walk on the other side, and not just make it through it, but take something away from it. So if that situation would ever happen again, then I know how to make it through with a little bit more grace. Spiritual principles: integrity, honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, and above all, the only way to take advantage of these things is to have the courage, humble yourself enough to reach out and ask for help. If you are struggling and you're embarrassed to try and reach out to somebody, I get it. I've been there. But whoever's watching this, if anybody decides to watch it even, if there's anybody out there looking for help, looking for someone to reach out to and maybe get a little information, or someone looking for someone to be in your corner and help you out and be a voice of reason, whatever, shoot me a call, instant message me, and we'll talk. I like to help people. And there are things out there, there's so many things that people can take advantage of to better themselves and better their lives. I I can't believe I was stuck in the dark for so long. I mean, I knew about these resources, and that's another piece of it, is that you have to be ready and willing to actually want to take advantage of these resources, because it's a lot of work. But just like, say, starting to work out, it's hard in the beginning, but eventually it becomes second nature, and there's so much benefit in it. Like, for the first time in my life, I'm happy. I'm actually happy. Like, I'm comfortable. I have this beautiful connection, higher power. A connection to the world around me. I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I love myself. I can look in the mirror and, genuinely smile at myself now. Anyways, I'm rambling long enough. I think I got my point across. So if you need help, or if you want to talk to somebody, then reach out. Just do it. It's so worth it. And that's the toughest part, is probably reaching out. So do it. Reach out. Message me. Rely on other people. Talk. Voice your concerns. Move forward. And be a better person. Because this is how we unite the world. If people are genuinely trying to lift others up, instead of dividing each other, like people, the government's not setting a great example for us. They want us to unify, but then are fighting each other internally. So, that we need to unify and rise up and be there for each other, lift each other up, motivate each other, push each other to achieve our dreams, and come together for the benefit of everybody, all mankind, all races. It doesn't fucking matter. We all bleed the same color. So, reach out, rise up, do something with yourself, better yourself. If you're suffering, don't sit in your suffering, because you don't have to. Reach out.